Ahoy mateys, we got a heck of a task coming up, maybe a couple of days, longer, who knows. My anchor light has never really worked, so check the wires, they look pretty well fried. I'm pretty sure the fixture is fried. I've just been hoisting up a lantern so that I'm safe and in compliance with Coast Guard regulations. But I thought as long as I'm going up, I might as well upgrade and update to the tricolor LED light system. NC'marinas. Now they've been in business since 1925. Now obviously not with LED lights, but they engineer their products to withstand that harsh marine environment. And it's not just navigation lights. They've got interior lights, exterior lights, courtesy lights, flood lights, boat trailer lights, anything marine light related, they got you covered. Well, let's take a look at what came in the package and what it's going to take to install this. Well, let's open the package and see what's inside. Well, of course, our light. Red, green, white, all around white. Oh, this is going to be handy. Okay, we've got some instructions here. Looks like a wiring harness, an attachment bolt, the wiring diagram. Now, all right, now to wire this up, we're only going to need 3 wires, so you don't need extra breakers down below. Here it's going to be the black is a negative, the red is a positive for the port, starboard, and stern light, and the blue is going to be for the anchor light. Now I'm going to write that down because I'm using a 14-3 shielded cable, and this is marine grade. It's stranded and tinned. So I've got white, green, and black, so I'll put black to black, green to blue, and red to white. I'm going to write that down on here so when I get down into the panel box, I know what to put down. So you don't need extra breakers on your panel box or any kind of thing like that. This is really pretty much ready to go. Now I'm not sure what I'm going to face when I get up the mast, so I've really loaded myself down with plenty of tools here. Crimpers, stripper, pliers, knife, string to run down the mast to pull the new wire up, of course my new wire. If I do some shrink wrapping, some waterproof tape. Alright guys, so I got up the mast. This is what I found. 2 screws holding it in place. This was the old light, and I had this backing plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a backing plate for this, because the new light is a little bit wider. So I found this piece of scrap aluminum that's a backing plate. I'm going to cut that so that I can mount this to the mast, and then I'll have the tricolor light sitting here. I'll cut out a little piece for the cable. So I'll show you what that's going to turn out like. Got a little bit of an issue pulling the new wire down, but I think I've got that solved now. So hopefully later this afternoon or tomorrow we're going to have this puppy installed. Alright guys, well I got my mounting plate drilled, all the things drilled on it. And you see this is going to fit like this. I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. And then this will be forward, and of course then the light itself goes in here. But let me show you what we're going to do once we get up there, and if I measured everything right, should be a pretty easy install if I measured right. But here's what's going to happen once we get up there. Well, let me show you how we're going to attach this first. All right, now I ran my jumper wire through here, and you see this is going to connect onto this so that we only wind up needing 3 wires down below here. What we want to do is make sure that this is aft, so that's going to fit in here just like this, and the mounting plate is going to come in here. It only fits one way, so I'm going to screw those in. That's going to be the first thing we're going to do. So now I have these nice and tight, and I use lock nuts on there, make sure they stay tight. Next, we're going to plug our light in. It only goes one way. There we are. Now again, this is important. Make sure that this, you see here we've got green and red, that's facing forward. You want to lock that in there. Just like there. You hear it click? I don't know if you heard the click, but I did. Had to find my washer. Alright, then we put the washer in. Now you see it came with a plastic nut, but we're going to use the lock nut that came with it. I'll put that in there. I got to get my socket set out here just a second. Alright, so now I'm going to tighten this bolt down. I'm using the long body. Make sure it gets all the way down there, you know, so we're nice and tight and snug. There we go. Now we don't want to over crank it, but you want to make sure that it's snug, just like this, so that this is forward, the white light is aft. Now I should mention too, I noticed I was a little loose here. You know, these lock nuts, you got to crank them a little bit. I mean, you know, you're not going to really, I guess you could strip it, but just get that nice and tight. Then the waterproof cap goes on there. There we go. Alright, so now here's what's going to happen when we get to the mast and get ready to wire. We're going to do a few shrink wrap things. So I'm going to put this on first. Then each of these wires is going to get a shrink wrap and crimped. So then that's going to get put on, shrink wrapped. After all of these get put together, this is going to slide up over there, and I know it looks pretty big, but it'll shrink right down with that. And I'm going to use just a lighter to shrink wrap it with, rather than try to run an electric cord up there with an air dryer. Now once that's done, I'm going to wrap from here through this. I'm going to wrap this around, and this, you know, you can put this on at any time. Then when we get down below, we're going to hook it up to the panel, and I'm going to use eye connectors rather than the little fork connectors. It just makes a better connection. Alright, let's go hook it up. Now guys, we finally got the mast light, the tricolor Hella light mounted, and I got to really thank my boat neighbor Dan for volunteering to ascend the mast and do all the work up there. And you know, the hardest part of this project was pulling the new cable down the mast and getting that set. But as far as wiring is concerned, you know, Hella makes it easy with that little connection thing. They take all of the 4 different lights, the red, the green, the aft white light, and the all-around light, and they put it into that little harness so that when you plug that in, then you come below and hook it up to your panel. You don't need all kinds of complicated 3-way switches and all of this kind of stuff. You just need your anchor light switch and your masthead switch. It was a simple install. Well, happy and safe boating to you, your family, and friends.